Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So Dan Quinn had his press conference today. We'll talk about that in greater detail a little bit later on. Said a lot today, so we're going to go through what he said. I know some of you are at the point where you're ready to start tuning him out. Totally get that as well. I mean, we're at that point of the season now where a lot of this stuff starts to fall on deaf ears. No worries. If you have no interest in what they're saying, I'll still give you the tidbits anyway. That said, the first thing he led his press conference off with was taking ownership and blame for the Jayden Daniels injury. He said, "This one's on me. I missed the mark." And last night, I wasn't really fully committed to the idea that this thing was solely on DQ, right? I wasn't denying it. I wasn't trying to stop anybody who felt like it was his fault and he needed to be fired or any of that. But I wasn't, totally on board with this is his fault. And then I had a chance to sit down after the stream last night, and shout out to my guy, Derek B. He sent me a message that kind of made me feel a type of way, where he basically said, DQ last year in the game against Cleveland sat him out of the entire fourth quarter of a game that was like, 27-6. I don't know if it was 34-6 at that time yet. It might have been 27-6. I believe that was the score at the start of the fourth quarter. He knew that the Browns weren't a threat at that point. And so what did he do? He pulled his young star quarterback out of the game. If you can do that at the start of the fourth quarter of a blowout in which we're winning, you could have done the exact same thing at the start of the fourth quarter of a blowout loss and achieved the same results, which is keeping your quarterback safe. He definitely missed the mark. There was no reason for Jayden Daniels to be in that game. And he's absolutely right. It is his fault. And it doesn't change anything now. It's water under the bridge. The shit is done. But yes, this shit is on his damn account. He's to blame for this shit. And again, it's football. Shit happens. But he shouldn't have been in there. Period. End of discussion. And I'm absolutely on board with that thought process. This should not have happened. He should not have been in the game. This is malpractice on the part of one head coach, Dan Quinn. So that's strike one. That's strike one. As for me, and I want to talk to you guys about this season and moving forward, because we've been here so many times. We've been here so many times before. And the only way we get through this as a fan base is together. You don't look for outside condolences. Don't look for outside comfort. No one feels sorry for us, nor should they. And we don't need anybody's empathy nor sympathy. We're good, right? We got us. And in times like this, we got to lean on us. And we've been here so many times that we know the formula. We know how this goes. And so I'm going through something that something that we call the stages of grief, but I've remixed it to the Commanders' stages of grief. It's the same thing. It's the same 5 stages, right? And as you know, the 5 stages of grief, there is no actual order in which they go. They come and go in different phases and waves. And for me, I've dealt with them most of the stages already, right? So let me give you the stages of grief, because I want to know what stage of grief you are at. So there's denial. There is anger. There is depression. There is acceptance. And there's bargaining. Those are the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Those are the 5. I've already went through denial. That was all last week, right? A lot of you had already hit acceptance on the season. It was over. This is the tough day for me. Last night was the realization that the season's over. So today is that day for me. It's a tough day. It's a tough day. So you kind of see where I'm going with this, right? But I'll go through the stages that I've already hit and where I am right now. And you can leave down in the comment section where you are on the Commanders' stages of grief. I was in denial all last week. I knew the season was over. I did a video this time last week stating that the season's over. But why did I not just accept it? Because I was in denial. So I injected hopium, hoping, wishing, praying that somehow this team that we all saw was not capable was going to turn it around. I got what I deserved. I was in denial. So I've already gone through the stage of denial, right? Last night, and so partially last week, I also went through bargaining, right? I had somebody leave a really funny comment on the video of Thursday last week, 9.4, where they basically said, bro, so we're going to win this game off the strength of aura, swag, and some jerseys? Bro, you got to come better than that. All I could do was laugh because that's essentially what I was basing my hope for us winning was. Hey, the energy in the building is going to be great. The fans are going to be juiced up. It's Art Monk retirement night. We're going to win this game off the strength of ... I was bargaining. I was hoping the football gods would bless us because of Arthur Monk and the energy and the jerseys, the championship jersey swag. I was bargaining. That wasn't real. There was really, I told you, there's nothing. I told you guys this multiple times last week, and even during the final episode of last week, 9.5, I said, there is no reason, and I said that at least 5 to 7 times last week, there's no reason for us to win this game. If you just look at the statistics, you look at everything the Seattle Seahawks stand for, nothing suggests we should win this game. I was bargaining. So I've already gone through both denial and bargaining. I tried last week. Last night, I went through anger. Grr, I was mad. And I wasn't like fuming because I already knew the season was probably done. I knew it was going to be a tough, tall task to beat Seattle. And I was more upset at the fact that Jayden Daniels got hurt. Because, you know, we've been through ass whoopings before. We'll probably go through them. Look, there's plenty more of those on the horizon this year, right? Losing Jayden Daniels pissed me off last night. And it opens Pandora's box, and now everybody's a suspect. I'm looking at Adam Peters, and I'm saying, this shit ain't good enough. And I'm looking at DQ, and I'm saying, this shit ain't good enough. I'm looking at Joe Witt, this shit ain't never been good enough. And I'm looking at Cliff, and I'm saying, you could be better, but you're the least of my worries right now. But everybody, I got smoke for everybody. I had it last night, especially. But I went through anger last night. Today is acceptance. That's where I am right now. I got a feeling depression is coming at some point this week. It hasn't hit me yet. But I am definitely in the acceptance role. And I always feel like acceptance should come last in this process. But that's not always the case. Because the day that and usually for me, and that's why I call it the Commanders' stages of grief, is because I usually accept my fate first, and then the depression hits like, bro, this shit's over. Before Thanksgiving, we have nothing. This season's over with. And it's only going to get worse. People are going to start talking draft. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And that's when the depression starts to hit. I'm watching all these other teams run and have fun and play meaningful football and wishing and hoping that was us. And then you start thinking about last year and how that was us just a year ago. And then those good, warm and fuzzy feelings start to come back, and it makes you sad all over again. That'll happen to me probably later on this week. It'll probably happen down the road, right? When I'm watching a team like New England go through what they're going through, because I think they're us from last year. The depression will probably hit even harder then. But I'm in acceptance right now. Shit's over, man. And I lost my quarterback last night. We lost our quarterback last night. And in addition to other players, but at this point, who gives a shit? Like, I don't. That might sound harsh, but after Jayden, like it was Lauryn Hill last night after Jayden got hurt, bro. It was Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo. Rest in peace to that king. But nothing even matters, bro. Nothing even matters. After Jayden got hurt, nothing even matters. No more. Nothing even matters. So leave it down in the comment section. What commander's stage of grief are you currently at? I'm at acceptance. But I haven't experienced depression yet. That's going to come at some point. I have already gone through the other 3 stages of grief. Denial and bargaining came last week. Anger was last night. I am currently in acceptance, and depression is going to hit at some point. But we're going to get through this like we always do, because there ain't a fan base out there tougher than us. We've been through so many tough and rough times like leather. We going to bounce back like we always do. And as I always tell y'all, it's going to make it that much sweeter. You know why last year was so goddamn sweet? Because of all the shit that we done been through. That's why last year felt so mother effing good. And I'm always going to keep preaching that to y'all. When we finally make it, and I'm not giving up on this group, even though right now they are not in my good graces. Okay? They are not in my good graces. I'm not giving up on this group totally. But I will say, because this defense is only going to get worse, and Joe Witt Jr. having to come down from the booth to the box, or from the box down to the sideline, is to me the first step in him potentially getting fired. But at the end of the day, as long as Jayden Daniels is here and healthy, and that's the most important part, we got to get him healthy, and they will. And they're going to protect. This is the type of situation that forces you to reevaluate everything that you've done. You got to put a better offensive line in front of them, which they started to do last year, which is why you traded for Laramie Tunsil. Josh Conley got to get his shit together. Sam Cosmi got to get his shit together. Right? Chris Paul got to get his shit together. And so does, and look, this is not a bad pass blocking offensive line, but we need cohesion. We need these guys to be on a string, one accord. I need these guys healthy the entire offseason. I don't need a guy off this day, off that day. This guy's out of lineup. This guy's out of the lineup. I need these dudes in camp. And I need these guys working together the entire offseason. I want no more breakdowns in protection when they're not even bringing enough guys where somebody should be coming free. Too many times last night, Seattle had free runners and they only rushed 5 guys. Well, it's 5 of y'all up front. So somebody make this shit make sense. They get this shit together in front of him, and then they got to surround him with more talent. Him holding the ball for 4 or 5 seconds, waiting for somebody to get open, that ain't it. And Cliff, you got to get your shit together too. You see that they send in all-out pressure, and you don't have an answer. And I talked about this last night. It was a 3rd down and like 9, and they brought all-out pressure against Jayden, and you got 3 dudes. That was some real Eric Bieniemy shit. All that Eric Bieniemy, PTSD came rushing right on back. Like, I'm seeing all 3 of the receivers that were out on the route running 20 yards down the field, and I'm like, where's the slant? Where's the quick out of his hand? You saw what happened when we brought all-out pressure. What did Sam Darnold do? Threw the shit to the running back on the arrow route, which is a slant, basically out of the backfield. On the Texas route, to Kenneth Walker, to beat that press, to beat that man coverage. Something's got to be quick so he can get out of his hands. There's no answers against pressure. Cliff got to get that shit together, man. We got to do a better job of protecting 5. Anyway, y'all let me know. What stage of commander's grief are you at? I'm at acceptance. The depression is the only one I haven't hit, and that one's going to hit me at some point. Probably multiple times over. Probably multiple times over. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to in other news. Before we do that, let's get a word from our sponsor. Come back on the other side, talk about what DQ had to say, and get to any comments that you guys may have. Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all of your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat in the games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips. Play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. Now we are in other news, and we are talking about Dan Quinn's press conference today. It was one that I definitely anticipated because I watched the one last night after the stream, and clearly he was shaken. Like the injury, the ass whooping, it was a lot for him to process last night, as it was for most of us. So I wanted to see after he had time to kind of sit down and his thoughts, just like I felt like we all needed a chance to just sit in our thoughts and kind of compose ourselves and figure out how we wanted to move forward. He had to do the same thing. The difference is he doesn't he has to lead a bunch of men moving forward, right? He has to still lead. We just got to figure out this shit for ourselves individually as fans. So I wanted to see how he approached it. Because again, I talked about the brotherhood being tested. I talked about, figuring out because this shit gonna get dark. Like he came out and started his press conference taking blame for Jayden's injury, which I'm glad he did, because the last thing you want to do is run from that shit. People are already pissed off. Accountability doesn't make it any better, but it does disarm people. Like people are armed and ready for bear. And they are ready to go to task, and you needed to be able to disarm them and say, hey, hold on. Before you point blame, let me point blame at myself. That was my fault. He then talked about the team missing the mark last night and apologized to us as fans. Like, your fans, you guys were great. You brought a lot of juice and energy. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to hear that shit. I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate you acknowledging us and the people that were in attendance who paid hard-earned money to be there, who paid hard-earned money to be in Madrid. And because of your negligence, putting Jayden out there in a 31-point game, they're not going to get their money's worth going to Spain. That's a lot of money. The plane ticket, the lodging, the game itself, a lot of money was spent by a lot of people. And now, again, it's still a trip. It's still a trip. The centerpiece of the trip is just now ruined. But it's still a trip. You're still going to Madrid. You still got a chance to have a great time. Just the reason that you were supposed to be going has been altered a bit, right? Anyhow, so yeah, the whole we missed the mark. No, you didn't miss the mark, bro. You didn't miss the mark. You didn't even effing throw at the target. You didn't just miss the mark. You didn't even attempt a throw at the target. You didn't even show up to try and attempt at the target so that you could miss the mark. The shit was pathetic last night. Ain't no apologizing going to make that shit feel better. Just be better. I tell my kids all the time, apologies are nice. They're cool. Just be better. You know better, do better. Be better. I appreciate the gesture. Be better. He gave injury updates, and there was really no injury updates to give. Screwed, right? Jayden, dislocated elbow. More information to come later on in the week. The one thing that we did get today, MRI came back clean. There is no break, Now it's about, or excuse me, the x-rays came back negative. There is no break. Now we await the MRI results, which will tell us how much ligament damage was done and will surgery be required. That's what we're waiting on now. As far as Marshawn Lattimore is concerned, that trade is now officially done. It is officially a failure, and you got to move on. These things happen. You're not going to win every trade. Every trade isn't going to be successful. Doesn't mean you stop trying to win, go out and improve your roster. But we missed the mark on Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints won that trade. He's now officially done for the season with the torn ACL. And to me, there's no bringing him back after this. There was no money left on his contract after this season. He was going to have to play extremely well for him to be back next year. He didn't already do that. And now you're hurt and you're going to miss, some of next year, I would assume. At his age, I don't think he's going to heal all that quickly. I got to assume that he's going to miss some time. He may be ready for the start of next year. It doesn't matter. He's not going to be on this roster next year. So that's a miss, right? And then Luke McCaffrey, broke his collarbone. What did I tell y'all last night? I said, that's a broken clavicle. With the way the season is going, that's so on brand for this season. That's a broken clavicle, folks. He broke his collarbone. He's out for the rest of the season. Of course he is. What else would it be? It's the 2025 Commanders. What else would it be? It's not a separation of the shoulder. It's not a bruise. Of course it's broken. Then he talked about defensive changes. Were there going to be any? No. Of course not. DQ's loyal to a fault. And again, I don't know if firing anybody's the answer. I don't think it is, honestly. It's not going to change anything. We suck. Okay, the personnel stinks. You want to know whose fault it is right now? If we're being honest, you know who I'm looking at? Adam Peters. That's who I'm looking at right now. I don't want to fire him. I don't even want to talk about him being removed from his position, because I actually think he's really good at what he does. But he came in here and he whiffed. He whiffed. He's been better at free agent acquisitions than he has in the draft. It's those misses in the draft, and it's trading for an injured Marshawn Lattimore that didn't work right now that has been very costly. Because, and again, I didn't want to trade for Marshawn Lattimore. Go back and watch the videos. People kept asking, what are we doing in trade line? I said, nothing. I want my draft picks. I want my draft. I remember me and Derek B were going back and forth, and Derek B was saying, if he would have done this shit in the offseason, he wouldn't have to do it now. But now we got a chance. You got to attack success. You got to trade for somebody at the deadline. And I didn't want to do it, but once it was done, I'm on board now. It ain't shit else we can do. It's done. You want to know who I'm blaming right now? Adam Peters. So this personnel stinks. Yes, the injuries have happened, but the personnel stinks. You could go and find guys on practice squads that can do better than Preston Smith and some of the guys that we have running around on our team right now. He was asked about pass rush and are they going to do something about it? And he went into this long diatribe about how they're going to work on technique and, work on fundamental. That ain't going to change shit with Von Miller, old ass. That ain't changing shit with Preston Smith. What are you talking about? Then he started talking about scheme and all kinds of bullshit. Conjure up a way to get pressure, bro. But if you're not going to go out and get somebody, trust me, this shit ain't getting better. I assure you of that. Then a Jayden hypothetical was posed to him, right? Which essentially said, if Jayden is able to come back before the end of the season, would you consider just sitting him out for the rest of the season? And I'm like, why is this even a hypothetical? DQ, just say he's out for the season, bro. Like, don't piss me off. You've already screwed this shit up once. Like, don't talk to me about, well, we just got to see what the doctor. No. We don't got to see none of that shit. I don't give a damn what this team isn't winning games, guy. There's no reason for Jayden to come back. Just say his season is done and we'll get him ready for next year. Just say that. He doesn't want to say that yet. I haven't even been able to think about it. It was the phrase he used. Bullshit. He's done for this year, bro. He gave a Terry update. And I'm like, I guess Terry can come back. I guess, give Marcus somebody to throw the football to. I guess. They can't quit on the rest of the roster, right? They can't quit on the other 50 guys in the locker room, 52 guys or whatever, you know. So should bring back Terry if he's able to come back. And I personally would like to see you just say, Terry, yo, just chill, bro. We'll get you ready for next year. But he's gonna fight this thing. He's gonna bring back Noah Brown. I would bring back Noah Brown because his ass is cooked after this year anyway. He can't come back. So if he injures himself again, cool. I'm not saying I want him to get injured, but if he does, no skin off my back. He ain't coming back no way. So yeah, bring his ass back. Talking about bringing Will Harris back, and I'm like, why? He's on a 2-year deal. He could be back next year. Why? No need to rush him back. We stink, bro. We suck ass. Oh, no. We suck again. Ain't no need. Then he talks about Joe Witt Jr. moving down from the press box to the sidelines. And the explanation he gave didn't even make any sense. It made more sense for him to be up in the press box. You can actually see all the routes that are going on from up top. You know, but this is what needs to be done. Why? So you can communicate better with the players when they come off the field. He stinks, bro. Joe Witt Jr. stinks. Him coming down from the press box to the sideline ain't going to change that. Is it going to make him conjure up better blitzes? No, it's not. It's not. Them same basic ass 1992 blitzes, them the same shits he going to run on the sidelines. Don't make a difference. He had a conversation with Jayden today. He said they talk all the time. That's to be expected. So he talked to him last night, talked to him today. He said they asked him about 3 straight losses by 21 points or more. And what is he going to say? He don't have shit to say, bro. We getting our damn backs kicked in. They are California curb stomping our ass. California smiles are being given out to us every week. Put your damn mouth on the pavement. Put it on the sidewalk. Put that shit on the curb. We getting stomped out every week. What is he going to say? He keeps saying, we're not going to stay here. You said that a month ago, bro. We still here. We still in the same space. How do you stop players from avoid, quitting on the season? And he's like, we got to lean in even harder right now. We got to lean in even harder. Okay. Good luck with that, bro. This is what the brotherhood is all about. I guess in these times, this is when you got to lean on it, I guess. So then Ben Standing asked him about, hey, man, are you at the point now where you're going to start putting these young boys in there, Kane Madrano, all of these type cats, man? Like, I think it's about time you start questioning, whether or not it's that time to start putting these young boys in there. And he's like, well, it's about performance. If I could have reached over there and grabbed his bald head when he said that shit and just gripped the hell out of that shit and said, look at me, man. I could have gripped his shiny ass bald head. I would have gripped that shit like a damn basketball. What are you talking about, man? Performance my ass. I don't need to see no more Zach Ertz, bro. Show me if Ben Sinnott is actually a real tight end or is he a damn fullback? That's what I need to see. Show me if Kane Madrano is a real NFL linebacker or is he a special teams player? Show me some shit. That's what I want to see. Don't talk to me about no damn performance right now. That season is past. The season for guys performing. Like Bobby Wagner, appreciate you, bro. You are awesome. I need Jordan McGee to have the mic, the green dot on his helmet. Like, I know technically we ain't at that point of the season yet, but we going to get there. And when we do get there, you better make the right damn decision. We appreciate you, Bobby. But we got to figure out if Jordan McGee is ready to take over this mantle, or do we need to go get us somebody? Put Kane Madrano ass on the field. Take Jordan McGee out of that spot and put Kane there and put Jordan McGee in Bobby's spot. We're going to get to that point at some point. And I don't want to hear no damn performance over youth. Just do it. Like Nike. Then he was asked about anytime, anybody, anywhere, anytime, and balled his life. And he basically said, yeah, we saying all that shit, but When you getting your ass whooped, who want to hear that shit? Like, we saying it in the building still. We just ain't saying it to y'all no more, because who want to hear that shit when you getting your teeth kicked in by 21 or more every week? Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Who want to hear ball is life when you ain't producing no damn turnovers? Who want to hear that shit? Touche. 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 Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the comment section real quick, and then we can bounce. Will Morris. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Will, writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Lou, I appreciate you through the good times and bad. Likewise. Likewise. That's the only way we're going to get through this shit is together, bro. That's the only way. This shit's tough. We've been here before and we're battle tested. As far as DQ, it takes a strong leader to stand up and accept responsibility. I agree with that. I agree. This one is hard to swallow, but I'm moving towards acceptance. HTTC. That's where I am right now. The only one that I haven't hit, the only stage I haven't hit is depression. And that's going to hit me eventually, probably multiple times over. But you're right about DQ. It takes a strong man to be able to stand up there and without somebody asking him about that to say, no, that's on me. I effed up. You know, I effed up. Will Cato, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Will writes, watching the Commanders this year is like watching Apollo Creed versus Dragon. Throw in the damn towel. Can the injury bug leave for a few years? We paid injuries in advance. We can't even sell. We need bodies. You're not wrong. Like, this shit is so egregious right now. Like, the way we getting treated. I've come up with a theory. I can't say this on air. I've come up with a theory as to why we getting hit with the injury bug the way we getting hit. But shit's crazy, bro. We've definitely paid in advance for the future. It's like paying up your rent 3-4 months in advance. That's what we've effectively done with the injuries this season. We pay for these shits in advance, bro. You can leave us alone for the next 2 years. Really, seriously, you can. It's just crazy. Throw in the damn towel. Jacob Cortez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jacob writes, I'm at the pissed off, throw them jerseys away. He said, I'm at the pissed the F off, throw them jerseys away. So you're at the anger stage of grief. I get it. Absolutely. Totally get it. 100%. Sean RHTTR, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I would have to blame Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. I'm blaming them for the season overall. Adam Peters is to blame for the lack of talent on the team. Dan Quinn is to blame for not overlooking calls on defense and offense. So you're sharing the blame between them equally. I put more of the blame on Adam Peters. It's enough blame for everybody to get a piece. I think the larger piece of my blame pie goes to Adam Peters. DQ gets some, Joe Witt Jr. gets some, Cliff gets a little bit, like the players get some, everybody gets some of this. No one's absolved from wrongdoing here, but I think the largest portion of my blame pie goes to Adam Peters, for sure. He assembled this roster, and again, there's more that could have been done. And even in the face of the adversity now, there was more that could have been done, and I don't think he's done enough in any of these situations. So, yeah, I feel some type of way. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. GT7 writes, same things that make players and fans love DQ are also part of why we're spiraling. His loyalty to vets and light practice. We can't let last year's results make us forget we still recalibrating. Hit all stages of grief last week. Okay, so you already was ahead of the game, bro. You had already hit all of those stages last week because you knew this shit was done. I was fighting, bro. I was fighting my ass off. So I was in denial. I was bargaining. I was doing all of that shit trying to save the season. And then I finally hit anger and acceptance last night and today. So today's acceptance for me. So you were smarter than me. Way smarter than me. Ed B, thank you for being a man. 50. That's the first time I've seen somebody hit the 50-month plateau. Celebrate for my guy, Ed B, who writes, year 2 of recalibration. Revolt. I'm not ready to revolt, but it's year 2 of a recalibration. Like GT7 just said, we got to remember that. We got to remember that this is year 2 of a recalibration. and that we skip steps. And in this process, you can't skip steps, and we did skip steps. So, you know, we got what we got, and now we got to pay for trying to skip steps. You know, Silver Fox, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Silver Fox. Ford writes, LT, I'll put it another way. I'm in acceptance of my depression now. So you've combined two of those stages together. Thank God it's not his throwing arm, right? I would have been just depressed, in a stage of straight depression if it had been. JD5 is a man of faith and will lean into it during this difficult time. We will be back. Absolutely. You said it very prophetically just now. I absolutely agree with that wholeheartedly, Silver Fox, man. Really appreciate you. Video channel, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB video channel. Right. DQ has to have lost the locker room with getting 5 injured. He's lost the fans, and I don't see how he's a part of the solution. About 30 games of bad defense. That's a way to look at it. That is a way to look at it. I don't know how the players in the locker room feel about him being out there at that time, but it's easy to look at it now and say he effed up, and he even said he effed up. And if he is who I think he is, he probably told the team, I effed up. That was my fault. Maybe he did do that. That's how you get their respect back, by saying that's on me, you know. But the part about the 30 games of defense that's been trashed, spot on, absolutely spot on, and I totally get where you are with that. Christopher McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Chris, writes, hey Lou, what's up, C-Mac? Hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise. Still sick, so haven't been on. 2 questions. Hope you're all right, man. Hope you're doing better. With a possible top 5 pick, what's your choice in round 1? I don't know. I can't tell you that right now. I haven't looked, and I can't tell you what's what. You know, that's not my steez this time of the year. Position-wise, I want the best player that can affect this team. And if that's a receiver, if that's an edge rusher, if that's a corner, if that's a say, I don't give a shit what it is. I just want the most talented player I can get to add to this roster. So I can't tell you what that is right now because I don't know. And then 2, what are reasonable expectations for year 3's recalibration? I think that's a question. That's a great question. I think it's one that we can revisit maybe a little bit later on down the line when we kind of see what the rest of this season brings. And what we officially need, like how you want to go, what's the cap space situation? Let's see if they trade some guys at the trade deadline. That was a topic I wanted to talk about tonight, but I decided, nah, we'll just see what they do. But it's going to be interesting. Like if they can trade some of these guys, pick up some more draft picks, that may help. But, you know, right now we just got to see how everything kind of shakes out first. All right. Loser, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Loser writes, give BW Thomas Davis 2020 role for the rest of the year. Yeah, Bobby's not going to accept that shit. Like at this point, when we get to that point, I don't really care what Bobby thinks. Like we got a decision to make. It's a tough one, but you got to sit down, bro. We appreciate you, but this is it. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up for rights. Moving coordinators from booth to sideline is the NFL equivalent of a warning letter. Facts. Like literally, that's all you've effectively done with that is this is your warning. Next time, I'm going to have to do something, right? TMB June, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, what it do, Lou? I'm feeling Franklin Saint at the end of Snowfall, free from all of it. I'm getting drunk to cope with it all tonight. I wish I could have a drink. I'm right now. I'm abstinent from alcohol as I always do. I fast before Thanksgiving, so I'm out of the game right now. But I feel you, bro. I'm over all of this shit right now. I just really am. Sucks. LT, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. LT writes, do you believe there was no regression with 5 at all? I do think there was a little bit of a regression from this standpoint. He wasn't as accurate as he was last year, but I also feel like there was a reason for that. And that was because he was throwing the different targets every single week and there was no continuity. He was in the lineup, then he wasn't in the lineup. Other guys were in the lineup, then they weren't in the lineup. Then you had all these new guys coming around. So I think that's where he regressed, but I think there's a reason for that. I do think there's a reason for that. Skins fan 1989. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Skins fan 1989 writes, uncomfortable convos if AP has another bad draft. Facts. And again, we won't know, right? We won't know. I still think it's early to tell if this draft that just passed, the 25 draft, was a good draft or not. I feel like he got some good players in it, but we still got to see what they turn out to be. Because you can't, like, Josh Conley can't be a solid player. That's a first-round pick. We need him to be a dog. Like, he needs to be a Pro Bowl tackle, right? At a bare minimum, he needs to be that level, that caliber of tackle. He may not never make a Pro Bowl, but we feel like he's that kind of player, right? I don't see that right now. But it's too early to say that about a guy that's one of the youngest players in the NFL. So you're not wrong. Tall Slime, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tall Slime writes, JD5 is definitely leaving us in the future. His mom is already fed up with the fan base, and now the organization gets her son hurt. We're cooked. He ain't going nowhere. She can be all fed up with the fan base all she want, but he ain't going nowhere. She's exposing herself to the small minority that is annoying and saying stupid shit. And again, you can't assume that every person online that presents themselves as a Commanders fan is actually a Commanders fan. The internet is not a real place. So Jacob Cortez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? We got to hear your theory on why the injuries bitter. I can't tell y'all that online. I can't tell y'all that. I can't do it. Because I don't have the bandwidth to deal with the fallout from that. Darnell Kelly, thank you for being a member for 49 months. Celebrate. Who writes, I'm on how to fix it stage. No moping. A problem is nothing but absence of a solution. Always push forward. That's a great positive way to look at it. That is a great positive way to look at it. And it's hard to fix it right now when you're still in it. It's hard. Like, the solutions can't come until after the season, unfortunately. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, GT7, writes, hit them stages early, Lou. That Madrid trip ain't lit. Sheesh, LOL. Yeah, you hit them shits way earlier than me, bro. But you were smart, though. You saved yourself all the pain and anguish of last night. But that Jayden injury still hit, though. Like crack in the 80s. It still hit last night. Club 100 TV, thank you for the super chat. Great. And I feel for you if you already had Madrid tickets. I mean, it's the trip still is the trip, but it ain't like it's supposed to be, right? Club 100 TV, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, OZ for Debo and Fowler for Vaughn. AP take away Quinn guys for his own very selfish. Yeah, I felt like Debo's fine. OZ could have still been here, though. Like, you didn't need Chris Moore. You could have had OZ still here, right? And Fowler, that was a whole situation. I think I told y'all about that situation. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but that was a whole mess too. So Sean R. HTTR, but that was definitely AP. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, I knew it was done after the Cowboys lost. The talent on the team was not good enough. The coaching staff was very inconsistent, and I didn't see any progression from the coaching staff, and it was a bit too late to make changes. That's a really good way of looking at it. I was too ingrained in everything at that point, and my mind was trying to stay positive, but you could see the writing on the wall in the Cowboys game for sure. You know, and again, we had so many guys hurt. That was my excuse. We had all these guys hurt. You know, we'll be better next week. Nah. You probably was on to it back then, right? Smacky, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Smacky writes, will JD5 ever complete a 17-game season? Only one way to find out. Yes, actually, he did last year. He didn't miss a single game last year. So there you have it, Smacky. He already did. Will Morris, been a member for 44 months. Salute. He writes, all I want to hear right now is JD5 is safely and securely in bubble wrap till next year. All else is peripheral. Again, I don't know what DQ's waiting on in terms of shutting him down for the season, but he better not put him back on the field. You want the fan base to completely turn on you? Put Jayden Daniels back on the field, or even entertain the thought of doing so. I don't care if we got a chance to make the playoffs, which we won't. Tall Slime, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? The football gods knew to give us last year's season for our sanity. Little did we know what was ahead. Also, bias aside, is 5 better than May, #1 in the NFC? I still think he is, but May's playing really well. I told you couldn't go wrong with either one of those dudes, any of them. I even said Caleb was in that discussion. I stand corrected. Caleb is not as good as Drake May and Jayden Daniels. He's not. But Drake May is balling right now. But Drake May got his shit too. He turned the ball over yesterday. He still got that shit that he does where he's loosey-goosey with it. But he's a big, strong kid, man. You know, can make every throw. Great athlete. Comes from an athletic family. That's why I knew he would be good in the NFL. And he's playing really well for the Patriots. Again, they're doing what we did last year right now. So I'm rooting for him. Not a hating bone in my body. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. But I still think Jayden is better. I do. Biased aside, I do. Because of his dynamic ability as a runner. All right. That's why. That's the separate. Both of them can throw the football from the pocket. But I think Jayden's ability to make things happen off schedule is better than that of Drake May's. Reedy Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes? LT been a fan since 79, seen it all, still hanging HTTC. That's all we can do. I'm glad you got to see all of the chips, though. It gives you better perspective of what's going on. You know, gives you better perspective. But you got to hang in there, Reedy. We're going to get to that mountaintop again. We're going to get there again, but this season is rough. This season has been and will continue to be rough. The only way we're going to get through it is together. So I ask this question once more to everybody who hasn't answered already, and to those of you who are going to watch this one on playback. What stage of Commander's grief are you currently at? I'm at acceptance. Where are you? Shout out to everybody who super chatted tonight, who gave me where they are in their grief stage. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. So you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll be back for overtime, Cowboys, Cardinals. Hopefully you got somewhere to watch the game if you got YouTube TV, because it's not on YouTube TV. But if you don't watch it, I'll still report back to you what happened in the game nonetheless. But in any event, that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. We'll get through this, and we're going to do it together. I love y'all, man. Love y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap. Hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20.